It's my grandma, Diana Kinney, and we're talking about what happened to my grandfather. Okay. When was he born?
He was born on the 13th of March 1937 in Ireland, in a castle called St John's Castle on the River Shannon. They had barracks there for the soldiers, and they turned the barracks into houses for people to live in.
Okay. When did he move to England?
When he was about 12, his father moved to Manchester because he needed to get some work, and so they all moved to England, to Manchester.
Okay, what age was he when he first left school?
He was 15 when he left school, and he went down the mines in Manchester, just outside of Manchester, in the coal mines.
Okay. How did he end up in the army?
Well, after 2 years in the coal mines, he didn't like it, and so he got called up. But as an Irish citizen, he didn't have to go into the army, because it was the English army that was calling him up. But he decided that anywhere would be better than the coal mines, so he went into the British Army, and he was stationed in a place called Enniskillen in Northern Ireland.
Okay. From the army, where did he go?
While he was in the army, he got trained as a physical education officer, and so he left there after 2 years. He had conscription for 2 years, and he went to Australia as what was called a £20 POM. You paid £20 for your passage to Australia on a boat, and then you had to stay in Australia working for 2 years, okay, which is what he did.
Okay. How did he end up in New Zealand?
He finished his 2 years in Australia, and then he decided to go to New Zealand on his way home, and he met me, and he didn't get home for 30 years.
Okay. This is about his boxing. When/why did he start his boxing career?
He started boxing when he was in Ireland, when he was a kid, so he would have been about 10 or 11. And he probably started boxing to keep his younger brothers in line. He used to tell one little story about his first tournament that he went to on a train. It's the first time he'd been on a train. And he went into the toilets on the train, and he saw this wonderful stuff in a container which he thought was hair oil, so he put it all over his hair, and it was soap. It melted and ran all into his eyes and all into his face. He didn't know what it was.
Okay. Who coached him when he was boxing?
In Ireland, I don't know. He would have joined a boxing club. In the army, he was coached by the army boxing coaches there. He boxed in several tournaments for the English Army as a light heavyweight. When he was in Australia, I don't know who boxed him, but I know who trained him, but he was in a club in Sydney. And when he came to New Zealand, he was trained by a man called John Semple.
How many times did he coach in the Olympics?
He went to 3 Olympics. The first one was Los Angeles. That was because our son Michael was boxing there, so we were just spectators there. He went to the Atlanta Olympics as New Zealand coach. And after our team was eliminated, he helped out with the Tongan team. The Tongans had a super heavyweight called Pia Wolfgram, and he had kind of got a little way into the finals, and Chris saw him in those, and he offered to help with his training. And he had a couple of bouts with Chris, and he got the silver medal. He fought a very famous Russian. And he also took the Cook Island teams as coach to the Australian Olympics in 2000.
Okay. When did he start the Tahi Bay Boxing Club?
Well, he didn't start it. When we first moved to Tahi Bay in about 1967, he was approached by the man who was coaching it at the time, and he went down there and started coaching, and he really enjoyed it, and he continued for over 40 years.
Okay. Can you tell me any more stuff about his boxing career?
Well, he went on a tour to Australia in 1963 and he won the title there, so he was the Australasian light middleweight champion, but he got hepatitis there, so he couldn't box anymore. That's when he started coaching, and over the years he developed the New Zealand coaching system, level 1 and level 2. He coached the national side. He was the national coach of coaches, so he held seminars all through the country, and he became an IEBA coach, which is the Amateur International Boxing Association, and he coached all through the South Pacific. He went to Fiji and to Samoa, to Vanuatu, Papua New Guinea. He also went to Cuba, he also went to Bangladesh and to North Korea, which not many people have been to those places, so he had quite a successful coaching career.
Yeah, okay. What was probably the greatest day of his life?
I would say receiving the Officer of the Order of New Zealand medal from the Governor General in 2012. He was nominated for that for boxing. Thank you, Freya. You've got to finish it off.
So, thank you for your time.
Okay, that's fine.